All right, this news just in. San Francisco 49ers quarterback Brock Purdy has cleared concussion protocol, and he will start tomorrow on Sunday in Week 8 against the Cincinnati Bengals, looking to end the Niners' two-game skid. We're going to talk about that, what it means for Purdy and this football team, but also some trade rumors that we have to get to because there continue to be rumblings from NFL insiders that John Lynch and this front office working the phones ahead of Tuesday's NFL trade deadline. A lot to unpack here on this Saturday. Hope you're all enjoying your weekend. First, though, make sure you subscribe to the channel because whenever breaking news happens, we cover it here on the show, and we're less than 2,000 people away from 100,000 subscribers. During our watch party tomorrow, I think that we can get to that incredible milestone. So if you haven't subscribed and you want Niners shows every single day, hit that sub button right now. So the 49ers announcing this afternoon that Purdy has clear concussion protocol. He has no injury designation for this game against the Bengals. Kyle Shanahan also saying that, yes, Brock Purdy will be the team starter. It won't be Sam Darnold. The Niners have lost back-to-back games against the Cleveland Browns and the Minnesota Vikings. They come back home, final game before the bye against a Bengals team that, frankly, they need to beat. And for Purdy, a great opportunity for him to get on the field and get back on track after a couple of rocky performances. Although I will say on Monday night against Minnesota, I thought he played good ball for the first three quarters and then really struggled there in that fourth quarter. But as we talked about earlier this week on that quarterback sneak when he took that hit to the head from Vikings linebacker Jordan Hicks, if that was the moment that he suffered this concussion, after that, he did not play well at all, and the two interceptions came after that as Purdy's struggles really came to the forefront. Purdy here, the only quarterback this year, when I did some research, to clear concussion protocol and play in the same week that he was in concussion protocol. There's a 5-step return plan back to action, and Purdy was able to pass through all of those different steps, doesn't have any symptoms, past concussion protocol, and that's what's allowing him to play in this game. And in the middle to later portion of this week, even when Purdy was on the field on Wednesday during the team's kind of walkthrough, that was a good sign. And then on Thursday, Purdy was able to partake in some drills, doing some quarterback rollouts, making some throws with a helmet on and shoulder pads, and then he practiced on Friday as well. So it was moving in a direction in which Purdy was going to be able to play. There was reporting earlier this week from ESPN's Adam Schefter that no player this year that went into concussion protocol ended up playing that week. That was an error in his reporting, and we kind of called that out here on the show. There have been a handful of players who have been able to go through concussion protocol and play that week. There have been no quarterbacks to be able to do that, but even John Feliciano earlier this year was in concussion protocol. He passed, and he was able to suit up for that week's game. What this means for San Francisco and for Purdy here is that the Niners are coming off back-to-back losses. They have to get back to their winning ways going into the bye week, and I think that's why Fred Warner was feeling the pressure a little bit after that Vikings loss, and he said, against the Bengals, this is a must-win. You can't go into the bye week losing 3 consecutive games. There will be a dark cloud hovering over this franchise. I think the fans will be panicking a little bit, and the bad taste in the Niners' mouths will last for the next couple of weeks. And you can't waste what was a dominant 5-0 start by really just pissing it away and losing 3 consecutive games. So I hope the Niners are feeling the pressure. I hope that they play a clean game. They don't turn the football over. They don't commit a lot of penalties, and they're able to show everybody that they're still one of the top teams in the NFL. And it was a mirage as they struggled in back-to-back weeks against the Browns and Vikings. Flush it, move forward, have that short memory, and put forward a good performance against a solid Bengals team that's improving after they had a slow start this year. For Purdy, he struggled in his last 2 games. This is an opportunity for him to get positive momentum going into the bye week and for him to also flush 2 bad performances. The Niners' offense clearly much better when Purdy is the starting quarterback. I think a lot of us were a little bit intrigued to see what Sam Darnold would potentially be able to do, but the guy started 55 games in his career. He's turned the ball over 55 times. I think that Kyle Shanahan can certainly maximize him as a quarterback, but he is not Purdy. Purdy is able to improvise better than Darnold. He makes plays out of structure a little bit better than Sam Darnold. I think that Purdy is much more decisive, and he's much more accurate, and he's just the overall better quarterback here. So that's a win for San Francisco that he's going to be able to play, and you don't have to play your backup. I also think it's important for Purdy to kind of work through his struggles. Everything was pretty easy for Purdy when he went 10-0 to start his career. Back-to-back losses. How do quarterbacks respond when they face adversity? What type of mental toughness do you have when you start to feel that pressure? Are you going to rise above it and be able to move past it, or are you going to let some of those mistakes and that poor play really hinder you and affect you mentally? And also, it's important for Purdy to show that he can be durable in this league. Last year, he fought through that rib injury on a short week against Seattle. He played and played well. Niners got the win, and on the road, they won the NFC West that week. He had the elbow injury, which was really unfortunate, and had to get surgery after hurting that elbow in the NFC Championship game, and now he's able to come back quickly off of this concussion. So with Purdy playing here on Sunday, who you got? Niners, Bengals, let me know in the chat. Also, I know I'm coming to you from my at-home studio because I wanted to bring you this news, not at the Chat Sports studio, so we don't have a bunch of fancy graphics, but make sure you download the Prize Picks app. You can get up to a $100 deposit match at prizepicks.com/CLNS and use the code CLNS. I'm going to put that link down below in the comment section as well as in the description of this video. It makes game days so much more fun. You choose more or less on a player's projected stat totals, and if you're able to hit on either 2 of those or 3 of those, you can win up to 25 times your money like I've been able to do this football season. It's the largest independently run daily fantasy sports app in North America, so sign up, prizepicks.com/CLNS, code CLNS for that up to $100 deposit match. Some Niners trade rumors to round out the show here. A lot of reports coming out from multiple NFL insiders that the San Francisco 49ers continue to be tied to potentially trading for either an edge rusher or a cornerback going into Tuesday's NFL trade deadline. I was on Larry Krueger's YouTube channel on Friday, and we talked about a bunch of trade candidates that the Niners could target on yesterday's show, in addition to talking about that odd report about Davante Adams and the Niners being a sleeper team for him, which I don't think is going to happen. I passed along some blockbuster F them picks type of trade targets, but more so realistic trade targets as well. There continues to be some chatter that Patrick Surtain has been taken off of the market, but the Niners were rumored to be checking in on Jalen Johnson, who's one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL, currently playing for the Chicago Bears. There are a bunch of edge rushers and other cornerbacks who the Niners could look to trade for. They have the most cap space in the NFL. They finally have a first-round pick in 2024. They have a lot of draft assets and player assets that they could use at their disposal to make a move for an impact player who can move the needle for this team. And it sounds like right now, San Francisco calling teams throughout the league, and they're eager to make another move. Diana Russini, formerly of ESPN, now at The Athletic, said aggressive general managers like Howie Roseman for the Philadelphia Eagles and John Lynch for the San Francisco 49ers continue to work the phones to see if valuable players are available. And I think that that's really important because I think that the Niners and the Eagles are in an arms race right now. I think Philadelphia currently has the edge. They got aggressive this past week in making a trade for a former first-team All-Pro who made first-team All-Pro 2 times in safety Kevin Byard. And I think it's important for San Francisco, if Philadelphia addresses their weaknesses, and I'm not ruling out that they're going to make even more moves, I think it's important for the Niners to counter because the gap between these two teams is very small, and you have an opportunity here to not let that gap get any larger. And in fact, you can close the gap and maybe overtake a team like Philadelphia and continue to be a contender in the NFC this year and in years future if you're able to bring in an impact player. So we're going to continue to obviously monitor this. It's coming down to the wire. Trade deadline coming up on Tuesday. That's Halloween. We're going to have some great coverage for you. Watch party tomorrow against the Cincinnati Bengals, giving away a Steve Young jersey. So make sure you join us and subscribe, because whatever happens with this team, we're going to talk about it and keep you in the know right here on the 49ers Report. Appreciate everybody for watching. Just wanted to hop on the mic real quick and pass along everything that I've been kind of seeing and hearing, and of course, dissect the news of Brock Purdy clearing concussion protocol and playing against the Cincinnati Bengals on Sunday. So hit that subscribe button. Let's get to 100,000 tomorrow, and I'll catch you tomorrow here on the show.